Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and amazing week. My name is Effy and today we are testing pretty much a full face of the Beauty Crop. Now I have tested the Beauty Crop before, but they've changed a lot since then and I'm pretty sure they're now going through another change, which is great. They currently seem to be discounting and selling off a lot of their products, which usually indicates they're about to go through like a major change, but I'm going to test the products anyway because why not? I've got almost a full face here. Anything I don't have I'm just going to skip over or potentially not do. For example, I don't have a powder bronzer, so I might just not do powder bronzer. But if you would like to see me testing a bunch of their products, then please do just keep on watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is always makeup related, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, let's get on with it. I'm actually going to start with a lip balm. This is the Peptide Calm Hydrating Lip Treatment with peptides, jojoba oil and vitamin E. This is in the style Birthday Cake. A lot of the stuff in this video I got as part of their advent calendar, which I paid for myself, bought myself, did a video on the channel. It smells quite nice. So the Birthday Cake is something that came in their advent calendar. I'm just going to pop that on, leave my lips to marinate while we do the rest of my makeup. What I will say is I'm not a massive fan of the applicator, and it's not just this brand, it's every brand that does these applicators. I just find them messy and I'm just going to wipe it off on a makeup towel that I keep on my lap. Feels quite nice, feels quite hydrating. I'm going to leave it on my lips. I like that it has a bit of a tint to it. The scent is strong. It's Birthday Cake scented, which makes sense, but I can smell it very intensely. I'm going to quickly prime my eyes with an eye primer and then we'll make a start. I've just used Beauty Bay Eye Base in shade 2 and this is the eyeshadow palette we're using. Again, this came in their advent calendar. This is the classic palette birthday edition. That's all it says. I do like the packaging. Is it going to get fingerprints all over it? Yes, but that's fine. And the palette itself is actually kind of basic. Nothing wrong with basic. I'm a fan, but yeah, for a birthday edition. I'm going to start by setting my lid with this shade here in the top corner. I don't know why, I'm just in a phase of setting my lid at the minute. That's actually quite nice, works pretty well for me. I should have said before I started what I think about this palette. I think the colours are quite nice. Obviously, yes, basic browns, but I do like that it does tend to go quite dark. Maybe not as dark as it could go. Could have a black in here, could have a darker brown than this. I like that it's a transition between the shades, and I also like that there is almost like a matching shimmer to each matte shade. Next I'm going for the shade here. I feel like that shade's quite nice. It could have done with a touch more pigment. I feel like as the palette is a gradient and we're about halfway through the gradient, it could just do with having a little bit more pigment, because this is showing up nicely on my skin tone, but I imagine it wouldn't show up on a lot of people's skin tones. I was going to go for this shade here, but it has quite a lot of red in it. Like, it's quite a red toned brown in my opinion. And like this one's a bit more peachy and this one's a bit more peachy, so maybe those 3 are meant to go together and like these 3 are meant to go together. So I'm going to go for the darkest one. That does have a nice level of pigment. It did pack on quite nicely. I'm not mad at that. I am going to have to go back through and blend it out a little bit more, so that's okay. I kind of wish there was a shade between the second 2 that I used, so the second shade and the third shade. I kind of wish there was an in-between shade, but like I said, the only ones in between seem to have much more of a warmer lean to them. Now that it's blended, I'm not that mad at it. I actually think it looked quite nice. I personally am on the hunt for like my perfect neutral brown eyeshadow palette to wear every day for work, and this palette could be in the running, but now we get to the hurdle that most palettes fall down at, the shimmers. They look nice. I'm going to swatch 4 and pick which one's going on my eyes. So let's obviously go for this one, this one, this one, and this one. I actually think they all look kind of nice. I'm kind of drawn to this one with this one on the inner corner. Yeah, is that how I want to go? Yeah, let's go for these 2. So I'm starting with this one. Performs pretty well. I'm going to start by saying that I can feel fallout on my face, but that is not an issue for me. I'm used to doing my eyes first. That's how I always do my makeup. This is stunning. It looks like a glitter. It sits so nicely on the eyes. It's got, oh, it's just gorgeous. I don't have many palettes where I love the shimmers this much. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the palest shade just on my inner corner as well, hoping it looks just as nice. Wow. These are the shimmers I've been looking for. Oh, the shimmers have saved this palette. This palette, I'm going to be using it every day for work. Every single day. Now we move on to base, and we're starting with primer. This is the Cherie gripping primer. I have seen this hyped up all over every social media, so I'm very excited to try this, and I'm really hoping I like it. I already have, I think, one of their primers, and I know that their packaging for primers is not the best. It's not working. I'm just gonna unscrew it because I cannot get it to work. Just put some on. I'm a bit thrown off by how red it is. Okay, ignoring how it feels, first of all, I feel like this has added redness to my face. Just a smidge, just an ever so small amount of redness has been added to my face, and I feel like a lot of people use makeup to cover up redness, not to add redness in, so I'm a bit confused about that. It does have a tack. It's quite sticky, which is good because I really enjoy the e.l.f. Power Grip, so hopefully it's a similar situation to that. Now we have a skin tint. This is the Dewy Bounce SPF 30 Radiant Skin Tint. I have the shade Vanilla. I have tried this before. I did a review of it over on TikTok, but I'll put it on for you now. I actually do quite like this. I'm not really a skin tint person, but I get on quite well with this. I'm also using one of the Beauty Crop sponges, which I've also reviewed on my TikTok and also quite like. Although it doesn't feel like a regular makeup sponge, it feels more like a putty, almost like memory foam type sponge, which takes some getting used to. And I wasn't sure of it when I first tried it, but now I've used it quite a lot and I do quite like it. Now on the foundation, it's a skin tint. It's not a foundation. It's not going to have loads and loads of coverage. It's not going to cover up my spots that seem to just not want to go away. But what I like about this is it does still give a level of coverage, which I feel like a lot of skin tints, I just don't get on with them. I've tried like 3 or 4 skin tints and none of them seem to sit very well on my skin. They tend to separate around my face and just not work very well. I found that this actually doesn't do that. It works quite nicely, which is good for me because although I don't wear skin tints often, it's nice to have that option. I do have the Rimmel Kind and Free skin tint, but I feel like that has too much coverage to be counted as a skin tint. So to have something like this that really doesn't have a lot of coverage but just evens you out, gives you a little bit of a base, it's nice to have in my collection. If you have skin tints that you get on well with, this is a nice one if you want to try it, but also you probably don't need it. But I really do like this. It's the only skin tint I've ever got on with, and I know that is a bold claim, but it is true. Concealer, this is the Vitamin Babe Concealer, Full Coverage Concealer. I got the shade 5N. Their shades aren't the best in my opinion. They don't have a lot of shades. Like, I feel like this is going to be way too dark for me if I'm being honest. But it was I think it was the lightest neutral shade they had, I think. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But yeah, I don't think their shade range was the best when I bought this. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Let's just do this side of my face for now. After all that panic about the shade, I do think it is ever so slightly too dark and too yellow for me, which is annoying because 5N indicates neutral, but it's definitely got more of a yellow undertone to it. It does have nice coverage. You can kind of see in my under eyes just how much better this one looks. Yeah. And it's sitting nice. It looks really, really nice around my nose, which is where most foundations and concealers have issues. It's not covered up my spots completely, but it's definitely giving me more coverage than the skin tint, which is good. It's sitting well on my forehead. It looks really, really nice actually. In terms of application, I'm not a massive fan of the doe foot. It feels like a sponge. And it also feels very flimsy, a bit too flimsy in my opinion, but it's not terrible. I also feel like it doesn't hold loads of product, but that could just be that I'm used to different doe foots. Now for liquid bronzer, we have the Juice Pop Bronzed in the shade Caramel. And I've actually never tried this product. I've tried their Juice Pop blush, and I quite like that. So I'm excited to try this. Now this comes with a teeny tiny little doe foot, which I think is really cute. I'm going to start on my forehead because that's a bit more forgiving. Don't know how much to use, so I'm going to start with that. That blended out really nicely. And I feel like it's a little bit less obvious on camera, but it looks nice. It's a nice shade. It may be a touch too warm, but that's okay. I also feel like it has a slight yellowy undertone, which I personally love in a bronzer. This one's a good contender. I really like this. Now I have two of these. These are the Glow Milk blushes, cream blush, and I'm going to get them both out and decide which one I want to use. These are the two shades. We have Pink Rose and Peach Blossom. I like both of them quite a lot. Normally I feel like I would go for the peach one, but I'm going to try the pink one. Pink Rose. Push the boat out. I will definitely use this probably in a TikTok, but let's try this one. I'm just going to take my brush and pick up some of the product. That's pigmented. I actually really like that, and I'm not a pink blush sort of person, but that's really nice. It almost has like a rosy feel to it, which I do really like, which makes me excited to test the peach one because I love peach blush. Now it's time to powder down using the Vitamin Babe setting powder. This came in the advent calendar. It also came in a mystery box that I bought from them. It's in the shade pink. So I'm not 100% sure on how this is going to work. I do like that it comes with a little lid. I like that a lot. I'm literally using the smallest amount possible. Let's just use it on one side of my face for now. Okay. I don't dislike it. However, I think it could very easily go overboard. I think what's happened is because my concealer was a little bit yellow based, which doesn't work for my skin tone, this has actually helped to neutralise it a little bit. And it's sort of done that all over my face. I feel like my bronzer's been neutralised a little bit. My blush, which is already pink, I feel like it looks pretty much the same. I just feel like it's so bizarre. I don't hate it though. And even now, I feel like it's giving me like a pink tinge. I don't hate it. It's not going to become my everyday by any means. I think I look a little bit pink, particularly on camera. I don't know if it's just my monitor. I'm hoping it is. Now time for powder blush. I'm not thrilled that they are basically in the exact same packaging as the cream blushes. Although I personally keep my cream and powder blushes separate, I would prefer them to still look a little bit different. That's just me. And we have the shades Poppin Peony and Coral Carnation. Obviously I'm going with the pink one to match the blush I've already used. This is very, very bright. I do like blushes like this. I might swatch it. I personally do really like blushes like this on my skin tone, so it will definitely get used, but we're going to use this one today. I think it looks nice. I think it works well with the cream blush. It's hard to tell whether or not it has loads of pigment. I think it does. I think it is actually quite pigmented. I like that. Again, not really a pink blush person, but I enjoy it. I do not have bronzer, highlight or brow products to test from them, so I'm going to quickly go off camera, do all of those and put some brown shades on my lower lash line. We'll come back and do mascara and lips and then we will be done. See you in a moment. We're back. I actually ended up not adding bronzer or highlight. I'm pretty happy with how my base looks. I just did my brows and put some shades on my lower lash line. Now we're going to test the mascara. This is the Avocado mascara in Blacker Than Black. I already have the Avocado mascara in black, so I don't know what the difference is going to be, but I'm going to try this one. This one comes in black packaging, the other one comes in green packaging. It says Nourishing and Volumizing Mascara, Avocado, Blacker Than Black. I feel like this is a slightly different wand to my other one. I'll do a video over on TikTok comparing the two, but let's just test this one out. I like it. I already know it. I like it a lot. Which is funny because the original Avocado mascara was a favourite for a very long time. I really like this. This could easily be a favourite. Look at that difference. I look like I have 1,000 eyelashes. They're so nicely separated. I'm only doing one eye so you can really see the difference. I really, really like this. It's not going to be for everyone because it's not giving tons and tons of volume. I think it's just making my lashes very black and very, very separated, which I really, really prefer in a mascara. Makes my lashes look like Ardell wispies, which is what I want. I know it's only January, but this could be the best mascara I test in 2025. I very rarely test a mascara, in fact many products, and be like, yep, this is a favourite, this is a favourite. I often like products and I can tell that I like products, but this is a favourite. It is what it is. Now it's time for lips, so I do have to take off the lip tint, lip oil that I have on. What I will say, I feel like it's shaded out a little bit while I've been talking, which makes sense. It has a beautiful pink glitter in it, which I really, really like. It doesn't seem to have like bunched up in the corners of my mouth and look weird and things like that. It still feels really nice, so I actually quite like this. Just if I'm taking it out of the house, I have to take tissues with me, which is fine. Now I have 2 lip liners and a lip gloss oil to test. I don't know which one's going to go better with the lip oil, so let's get the lip oil out. I have tested this lip oil before, but in a different shade. I had the shade Bubblegum, which is a pink that kind of comes out clear on the lips. I'm hoping this one has more pigment to it. This again is part of the birthday edition, but it's the hydrating lip oil enriched with jojoba oil and vitamin E in the shade Sparkler. And I think potentially the red is going to go better with it, so we'll try this. I've got quite a neutral eye on, so a bold lip is fine. This is the Lipped Cream lip pencil in the shade Red Velvet. I have tested their lip creamed lip pencils before. I have the shade Mocha. I actually really like it, so hopefully I like this one too. So this is what the shade looks like. Like I said, have tried these before. I know that they work pretty well, but that's a brown, this is a red, it might work differently. The pigment has arrived. That is a beautiful, beautiful red lip liner. It's almost like a pinky red. I quite like it. What I will say is, the product itself works amazingly. Very pigmented, very creamy. However, if you make a mistake, it's going to be really, really obvious because of how bright and vibrant and creamy and pigmented this is. But I do really like their lip liners and I'm happy I have 2 more. Now for the lip oil in the shade Sparkler. Please have some pigment to it. Do I swatch it or do I just go straight on the lips? I think I'll just go straight on the lips. That's not pigment. It's not a lot of pigment anyway. I think it has a nice effect. And it does have some pigment to it, I will give it that. I don't think it's mixing well with the lip liner. I think it's just taking that up and moving it about a bit too much. I don't like it. I will try this by itself. Let me just swatch it on my hand to see what it looks like. Yeah, I feel like that's not too bad. Like, it's not as pigmented as I would want, but it's not terrible. I will test this by itself and see if I prefer it, but I don't think using it with a lip liner is ideal, unless you're planning on putting the lip liner all over your lips. It looks nice from afar. But there we go, that is my full face-ish testing the Beauty Crop. Let me know what you think, let me know your thoughts, let me know if you've tried any of these products. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put out 2 videos a week and it's always makeup related, so if that sounds like type of thing, then this is the place for you. But as always, thank you for watching. Have a great day and an amazing week. I've forgotten my outro. I'll see you in the next one. Love you, bye.